Hey sportsman, John Bergsma. We're here live on site at Linwood Beach Marina and Campground. Of course, all of you know it as the launch site for your great Saginaw Bay adventures. We've got 4 great reports and then we've got a Detroit River preview. Stay tuned here on the Fisherman's Digest Video Fishing Report. Hey, we're going to start out in the only place where I really feel comfortable telling people to go ice fishing, and that's the Upper Peninsula. You know, we've got a ton of wind here this week in Lower Peninsula, as well as some really warming temperatures. Saginaw Bay, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair, all of that is out. If you go out there, you have a death wish. So stay off of that ice. Some of the inland lakes might still be fishable this weekend, but to be honest, why mess with it? Why take a chance? Get your rods ready, get all of your stuff set because the Detroit River is not very far away. So let's talk just a little bit about the 2 fisheries down south, and then we'll end in the Upper Peninsula with the ice fishing reports. That first fishery I want to talk about is right here on Saginaw Bay and down in Monroe. Those 2 fisheries typically start firing right in the middle of March, so we're really only about 2 weeks away from that. And so guys should be starting to get their rods prepared, get all ready to go for that open water fishing. Now, let me talk to you just a little bit about something here in Saginaw Bay that not a lot of people know necessarily. Sure, lots of locals, but you don't have to run all the way to Lake Erie to catch good trolling fish. The Saginaw Bay fishery right here out of Linwood Beach and pretty much all over the Saginaw Bay area has very good fishing in late March and April if you know how to crankbait troll. Now, some of the better baits to use are going to be in the really cold water P10s or Rapala DHJ12s, so that's the deep husky. Now you're going to use those same custom colored baits that seem to work well in the late fall. Those are the same colors that are going to work early in the spring. There's also a really good perch bite here in shallow water in Saginaw Bay. And if you're a perch enthusiast, this is definitely one of those areas to try. It's also a really good hedge against the wind. When you get an offshore wind, let's say you get a southwest wind or a west wind or even a slight northwest wind, this entire western shore here, when you're putting out of Linwood Beach, is going to be pretty protected out to about 6 or 8 feet. And early in the year, that's where the fish are at anyway. So keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out where to go early season. I know a lot of guys say to me, John, what do I do when the wind's honking? Well, sometimes there's not much you can do if it's blowing too hard, but there is that understanding that early in the season, that second half of March, pretty much first half to all of April, you can catch good shallow water perch here on Saginaw Bay, as well as you can troll tight, that 10 to 14 foot range. Oh, basically all the way around from north of Linwood Beach all the way down towards the pencil buoys. There's a whole western stretch of shoreline there that fish scatter out, and they're really pretty accessible if you just put the baits out and go.
Wyandotte Lure manufactures soft plastic baits and fishing tackle right here in the Detroit area. Our famous original Wyandotte worm and the new Motor City minnow are made with our own special blend of material that is soft enough for a fish to bite, but durable enough to use all day. Our baits are available in over 30 different fish catching colors. Just another reason why Wyandotte Lure is known as the king of the river. Go to WyandottLure.com or ask for them at your local bait and tackle store.
So the second fishery that I mentioned is Monroe. Now Monroe out of Sterling State Park, kind of by Bulls Harbor there at the Michigan line, that's another great trolling option. And so what you really want to do is treat that the same way as you treat Saginaw Bay when it comes to the wind. Really, you got to be pretty much less than 15. You get 15 to 20 out there, that gets to be super rough. And so you've just got to treat it with caution and respect. It's a trolling fishery early. You know, a lot of guys concentrate their efforts on the Detroit River exclusively from about March 15 until the end of April. I find that there's always a group of spawners that spawns early and bails out of the river, and those fish become very accessible to be caught trolling out there in that mouth of the Detroit River south to the Ohio line. That greater Bulls Harbor, Luna Pier area becomes a very good fishery. Now, you catch them typically slow with big bandits, maybe 1.2 to 1.5. and as the water temperature begins to warm up, then you can pick your speeds up. Same thing, guys. Custom colors seem to work great on bright days, like sunny days. You're going to be using chrome-based lures or shiny gold-based lures. Now you can add all kinds of different colors to those to give yourself confidence that you got the right bait out, but to be honest, a chrome-based lure with pink or white or chartreuse or any type of color like that on it is typically a good choice. Same with a gold-based lure. If you throw a shiny purple on the top of a gold-based lure, or chartreuse, or an orange belly, that's typically going to catch a lot of fish that time of the year. So remember, really early P10s and DHJ12s, and as the season progresses to late April, then you can flip over to the Bandits. The difference a lot of people say to me is, why do you switch like that? Well, because the colder the water, you want a lot more subtle action. The P10 has a lot more subtle of a roll, as does that Rapala DHJ12, as the Bandit has. The Bandit has just a touch more of the head forward, side to side action, and so that little wobble roll of the first two, of the P10 and of the DHJ12, can be a real big trigger for really cold weather fish. So 1.2 to 1.6, I'm typically pulling a P10 or a DHJ12, and when I get above 1.6, that's when I'm flipping over to Bandits.
Win $60,000 in prizes, including a new StarCraft boat and motor or a new Qwest Pontoon and motor, and a whole lot more during the big giveaway going on now at the on-site indoor boat show at Lakeside Motor Sports and Nelson Speed Shop. Get special early season pricing and boat and motor packages on over 700 boats in stock. Win prizes every weekend now through April 18th. Meet industry experts plus guest seminars. This is big. The big giveaway and on-site indoor boat show going on now at Lakeside Motor Sports and Nelson Speed Shop.
So we told you we'd talk ice fishing. I've got the whole Upper Peninsula to talk about. First stop of the day is right over the bridge. John Goebel up there at Customized Charters out of the Drummond Island area tells me that in spite of the little bit of moderation in the temperatures from last week, they've had zero ice erosion. The only thing it's really done is compacted the snow that was on top of the ice and then refroze it to make it much more travelable. It's actually a very nice situation that occurred up there in the Upper Peninsula. So John's catching. Right now till ice out is going to be your best opportunity to catch really nice jumbo perch right there in the greater Drummond Island area. So if you're into big perch and you really want to have that one last ice foray, give John a call. Customized Sport Fishing right there on Drummond Island. You'll also see John's banner going across the screen, but you can see the fish he's catching as they pan across the screen. Some really, really nice fish, and they're caught in the bays that are all around Drummond Island as well as the middle grounds. So those two spots seem to be the best right now for Drummond. But Drummond, John tells me, is absolutely going to have ice all the way through middle of March. At the earliest, that's when it's going to go out. So you guys have got 2 weeks to fish up there in the greater Drummond Island area.
Beck's Trailer Superstore sells more aluminum trailers than any other dealer in America, and the brand we trust is Legend Trailers. Beck's has carried dozens of trailer brands over the years, and none of them stack up to the Legend Trailers, which are built right here in Michigan by Michigan workers. Visit us here at Beck's to see the superior Legend quality firsthand, or give one of our trailer specialists a call to learn more about why Legend is far and away Michigan's #1 trailer brand. If you appreciate quality, value, and longevity, then you'll appreciate Beck's Trailer Superstore and Legend Trailers.
So our next stop of the day is Mike Coziera up there at Marquette Adventures Guide Service. Now, Mike's been out on the big water catching his share of trout and burbot and all kinds of crazy stuff. Same situation as John Goebel. Mike from Marquette Adventures tells me that in spite of the little bit of moderating temperatures, they really haven't had too much diminishment in their ice, and they're looking pretty solid for the first 2 weeks of March. So things will rapidly digress after that if the weather and the temperatures stay up. But right now, you still got some really good opportunity to catch the best ice fishing of the season there in the greater Marquette area. Late ice up there is really, really a hot bite. And also, Mike wanted me to let you know that he's got the best bait in the area. He's been running a bait operation up there to make sure that people who come up have live bait. Get a hold of him at Marquette Adventures. He'll tell you how to access that bait opportunity, not only for ice fishing, but of course the open water season as well. Now, when we're talking about getting a hold of Mike and getting out with him, he's been really busy this year, and Mike runs an entire series of guides up there at Marquette Adventures. So it's not just one person, but they've got some midday, some midweek stuff that they can still get people out and booked at. So get a hold of Mike, get on up to Marquette. This is some absolutely beautiful time up on Lake Superior. You've got the sunshiny days, you've got all of the scenery, they've got all kinds of fish that are making their way to the shallows under the ice. It's an annual thing, and they're gonna have some very good fishing up there at Marquette.
Don't spend another season breaking your back using 5-gallon gas cans to fuel your toys. The Flo-Fast portable fluid transfer system is your solution. A great tool for fueling your ATVs, snowmobile, boat, garden tractor, and more. Flo-Fast eliminates gas sloshing on you and your machines, plus works in reverse to pull unused fuel from your equipment at the end of each season. The pump transfers from container to container in seconds and moves up to 8 gallons a minute. Log on to flofast.com for a dealer near you.
So, we talked about it last week. We're going to mention a couple of more Upper Peninsula spots, mostly because these are 2 spots that are going to have good safe ice again for at least 2 weeks. Now, we're probably going to transition pretty quick here to a lot of open water stuff. So, we mentioned it last week. We're going to mention it again. Lake Gogebic is kicking out some awesome perch fishing off the deep basin on wigglers. And Big Manistee is primed right now for the best perch fishing and the best ice walleye fishing of the season. So if you're looking for 2 options headed west, the town of Curtis, Big Manistee and South Manistee Lake, the bite has been very good. You can get live bait at the Fish and Hunt shop. You can also get it at Mix at the top of the hill, and they can also get you some good information. But this late ice bite in Curtis is usually very, very good on the North Shore especially, or the east or the west shore of the Big Lake. Now over in Gogebic, Tim at the Timbers Resort says same thing, just like last week. He's got a few cabin openings towards the last couple weeks of March. And believe it or not, there's still going to be safe ice out there at the end of March. So you can give Tim a call and get on his schedule to see if you want to get up there for, again, that late ice bite is awesome on Gogebic. It's something that most of the locals wait for the whole year. Big perch, nice walleyes. It's happening there in the western UP. So get a hold of Tim at the Timbers or any one of the other resorts that dot the lake, some of which are open. I'm not quite sure who's open and who's closed, but you can get on the Western UP website and check that out and get your reservations all set.
Qwest Pontoons, family owned and operated, built by fishermen for fishermen, with all of the fishing features you need and models designed for specific species. With plenty of room and a center console, Qwest Pontoons are the ideal boat for the fisherman and the family man. For more information, check us out at www.anglerquestpontoons.com or on Facebook and Instagram at Qwest Pontoons.
So the last mention of the day is right here just north of Linwood Beach Marina, and that's the Tawas to Oscoda area. We've got the Au Sable River that's starting to fire. Captain Gene Curvin from Calypso Sport Fishing Charters tells me that the moderating temperatures are starting to have an effect on the steelhead. They're starting to bite very aggressively. Now, he's catching most of his on a mag lip, and he is sweeping it through the holes. And that hot-shotting mag lips through the holes is a really, really great way to catch fish. The strikes are very, very violent. The fights are awesome. And let me tell you what, if you've never been out there in a drift boat with Captain Gene on the Au Sable, you are missing it. The Au Sable is one of the most beautiful rivers in Michigan. It's got lots of wildlife going on, plus awesome steelhead fishing for the month of March. So give Gene a call there at Calypso Sport Fishing Charters. He's based right now, of course he's out of Tawas, but he's fishing on the Au Sable there north into Oscoda, and he is fishing all of the last 2 to 3 miles of that Au Sable there and putting his clients on the best steelhead fishing of the season. So hey, like I mentioned, I'm standing here in a beautiful Angler Quest 824 here at Linwood Beach Marine. And we chatted with Scott Scott Safransky from Linwood Beach, and he's getting ready to do the grand opening, of course, like he does every year, getting all of these campsites ready for the great crush of people that just absolutely live to come here to Saginaw Bay and spend their summers. Now, Scott's got a bunch of boats here in the indoor showroom, and that's one of the cool things. When you come here or you come to this area, don't hesitate if you're in the market for a good boat. Don't hesitate to come in Linwood Beach, visit Linwood Beach, not just for the fishing, but to browse through his showroom. He's got a full line of trackers. He's got a full line of polar crafts. He's got as many Angler Quests as he can hold. We've got some boats here to sell, but most importantly, Scott's selling fun. He's selling a campground, he's selling the best fishing possibly in Michigan, and he's got all the boats to service his customers. And if you're looking for great service, if you're in the local area and you're looking to where can I take my boat to trust the people with awesome service at a fair price, Scott's the man to talk to there. So visit him over at Linwood Beach, get together with a salesman, get your best price, get out and start enjoying the great outdoors and Saginaw Bay for all it has to offer. But for me, it's the walleye fishing. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. It's been a long winter, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest ice fisherman in the world, so I am pumped like crazy that we've got open water trolling coming, because that's my game. That's what I really love to report on. So we've got our guys out there getting all their stuff. All of our reporters are transitioning from ice to open water. So we'll probably pull back on the ice fishing. We'll talk a little steelhead fishing next week, but we're going to talk mostly about Detroit River jigging and open water fishing on Erie and Saginaw. We'll see you next week on the Fisherman's Digest Hot Bites Report.